It's my first time going car camping in probably almost a year. It's been quite a while. I've just been really busy with work, and definitely time I get back to doing car camping again. Today I'm headed out to a campsite near Roslyn, Washington. So there's a ton of campsites out in that area. Should be a lot of free camping, I think. I'll just try to find one with the bathroom because I forgot to bring all kinds of things. So like my shovel, I don't have a lighter. I have my fridge with a bunch of food that I can't cook, but I did stop by the grocery store and found some things that I can eat for supper. But anyways, definitely time to head out. It's just been a long time and I've forgotten what all I need. My car hasn't really been set up for camping for a while, but I think I'll probably change that. I'll leave a lot of the stuff in the car once I'm done. Well, I'm up here in the Cle Elum Valley, or I guess just above the Cle Elum Valley, overlooking the Cle Elum River. This is out in the middle of the National Forest, so Forest Service land, always a wonderful thing. Today, I am actually going to be testing out my new mattress. So one of the reasons why I haven't been car camping is I took the mattress, the good thick foam mattress, out of my car because I'm not permanently car camping right now, and decided to put it into my apartment, and that's what I actually sleep on every night. It's the exact same mattress that I slept on every night when I was living full-time in my car. But I've been needing a new mattress. Well, first you can see that this is a bit of a mess. That cross piece with the cover is going to have to move. I'm probably going to try the strategy that I tried earlier where I store everything for car camping in my trunk, so when I'm in Seattle people can't see it. So I am leaving that in the car, but up there is the mattress, and I need to pull it out. Part of the big reason why I'm actually out car camping again is I just have a product review to do, something I do frequently. It actually brings in money and viewers for my channel, so I'm really happy that I have the opportunity to do this product review again, so thank you, Hazley, for doing that. I'm going to put the review up on a different video. We'll put parts of that review in this video as well, so you can see what's going on here. And I'm pretty much set up for car camping. For supper tonight, I'm having this Trader Joe's creamy hummus and vegetable wrap. It's mediocre. Alright, so I'm all set up, ready for bed. Actually, I need to put that battery away, but otherwise I'm set up and ready for bed. It's actually my bedtime, and you can see the sun is still very high in the sky here, partly because we're a day after the solstice, so pretty much the longest day of the year, and partly because I go to bed at 5 p.m. But whatever the case, I'm going to put this bike back up and show you what I did earlier. It's not good. So you can see how I have my bike strapped down, tied down in the middle, 2 ties on either tire. Well, I'm a little paranoid after what I did earlier today. I tried moving my car with the bike without it properly strapped down. It was just being held in by this thing, which can pop up. Well, as you might expect, I went over a bump in the road, and this came up. My bike tipped over and smashed into the back of my car, and now I have a dent in my trunk. So that's not good. It actually went through, clear to the paint, so I'm going to have to do something about that. I'm not really sure what yet, but I'll let you know. Moral of the story is, though, tie down your loads before you try to move. I'm a truck driver, I should know better. Well, this really reminds me of those old vlogs I used to do. I don't even have my light with me. I left that at home. So I'm having to use my dome light here in the car on the roof for lighting. It's totally like my old vlogs. So I do want to talk really quick about whether or not I miss car life now that I've lived in an apartment for almost a year now. And the answer is pretty much yes. I do miss living in my car. Yeah, I know it's kind of crazy to a lot of people, but having that freedom and flexibility to go and sleep kind of where you want. I know there's a lot of restrictions on where you can park, especially around here these days, but still, you have so many different interesting places you can sleep every weekend. You don't really have to make a ton of plans. You just know that your car's there for you, it's ready to go, and take you on an adventure every weekend. I'm hoping that I can get my car set up again so that I can just take it out and go car camping whenever I want, kind of like I used to. But I'm definitely not planning on moving back into my car full time, especially now that I'm in this kind of debt repayment. I have a job that requires me to have a perfectly legal address. It would be pretty risky for me to not have a proper address anymore. So the apartment is staying in my life. I actually just re-signed the lease for another year, which makes me very sad in some ways. I don't mind the apartment. It's not bad or anything, but it's a lot of money for not a whole lot of benefit. But and do what you have to do to both stay legal and accomplish your goals in life. So that's just kind of where my life is at these days. Having everything set up here with my nice new mattress brings back great memories, and I'm hoping that this summer, and especially into the fall when camping starts getting a lot easier again, that I will have a lot more adventurous car camping than I have been lately. But anyways, that's it for me tonight. I am going on a really fun adventure tomorrow. I'm going to be crossing the mountains to a place that people don't generally go anymore. It's a really, really cool spot. I really miss waking up to these mornings out in nature like this. Always the best way to wake up. Super quiet out here. I very quickly get off of my terrible sleep schedule that I have to have for work. But what can I do? And there we have it. Everything's all packed up in the back of the trunk of my car, and it's all nicely hidden from view. So that works out exactly how I want it to. This is definitely how I want to keep my car between going on adventures, just so that I don't have to completely repack and spend a couple hours repacking every time I want to go anywhere. So I think this setup will work really well, and I'm going to make a few changes. Remember to pick up a few things at home that I forgot, and then I should be all set, and the car should be ready to go anytime I want to go. So today I'm headed out to a ghost town called Lester, Washington. This is a really interesting site that I haven't been to in probably 10 years, so we'll see if any of the buildings are still standing. Possible that more of them have been demolished, but last time I was there were several houses and some other structures on site. The interesting thing about Leicester is that you can only access it from one direction, and that's from eastern Washington. So to get to Leicester from western Washington, you actually have to go over Snoqualmie Pass, and then back over the mountains again across a pass called Stampede Pass. Now, Stampede Pass is a historic pass. It's one of the passes that they used before they put the interstate in. The interstate decided not to go that direction, and so Stampede Pass was a little more than a dirt road. It's the main railroad line that actually goes through the area. You can still drive over Stampede Pass, though. It's still Forest Service road, and that's the only way to get to the city of Leicester, at least the only legal way. The other side of the city of Leicester is blocked off by the city of Tacoma, and I'll talk more about that once we get down there. Well, it looks like I may not be able to actually get back in there. It says walk-in only, but there's no way around the gate like there used to be. I can't ride my bike back in there, which is fine. So, this may be the end of the road for this trip, which is kind of disappointing. There's a lot of really cool things down that road, as there used to be. Well, let me tell you a little bit about the history of this area, even though we can't actually go into the old town itself. The town of Leicester was it started off as a railroad town. First, it was kind of the first stop before you go over the pass. It used to be the refueling and watering stop for steam trains when they would go over the pass. Eventually, it turned into a communications post for the railway. And then later, the town kind of slowly died off and turned into more of just a logging camp type of town. Back in the early 20th century, the city of Tacoma started buying up water rights up in the mountains like a lot of the major cities here did. So, to do that, they basically bought up all the land that they could. There are lots of accusations of them doing things like burning houses down intentionally or bulldozing houses that weren't theirs, stuff like that. How much of that's true, I don't know, but it was a common thing for people to say back in the day. So while they were buying up all this land, Leicester was kind of the last stop before you get it into the mountains. And they didn't really think they needed anything past Leicester. So Leicester ended up getting basically cut off from the rest of Western Washington. To get to Leicester, you would have to go over the mountain pass, kind of like I just did today. And for a lot of people, that just didn't make any sense. The last person moved out, I think it was 1983, something around there. It was the mid-80s. It was the school teacher for the town. She decided she wanted to stay, and she stayed as long as she could. I think she was also in her 80s by the time her kids decided that she really had to move out and head towards civilization again. But you can see why she would have liked it out here. It's very quiet. There's no one else out here. I don't know when this gate was put up, but until recently you could go over and walk around inside the town. The houses were still standing. They were all accessible. I think some of them may have been bulldozed over the last 10 years as well. And from some of these no trespassing signs I'm seeing behind me, looks like the city of Tacoma has been buying up even more land in this area. Cabins and small houses, kind of like this one, which were on the outskirts of Leicester. Looks like that one has been abandoned or bought up by the city of Tacoma. I'm not sure which. Seems to still have furniture inside and stuff, so it could be someone's private hunting cabin, but this was all private land last time I was out here, privately owned. Some of this forest, I don't know if this particular forest, but a lot of the forest like this on the side of the road is owned by the Muckleshoot tribe and various other logging companies for forestry reasons. That's what they use it for out here. There are dirt roads that go from here all the way over to Black Diamond, and that is basically the nearest town in Western Washington that you can still actually live in. Leicester just happened to be the first up in the mountains, and it happened to be here the longest, that's all. There were about 3 or 4 other towns, I think, something like that, along that dirt road that were bulldozed. They were all logging railroad towns, things like that. But the city of Tacoma decided that they wanted their water rights, and to secure that, they basically banned everyone from that area. And this was even before 2001. You could still actually drive on some of these dirt roads before 2001, but you would still be trespassing if you went off the road, basically. But even up here now, you really just don't have access anymore. The city of Tacoma is really clamping down on people's ability to access this area. And in some ways I kind of understand. They need to secure their water rights. They don't want anything bad happening up here. People starting fires up here, which is pretty common up in the forested areas. And so, I get it. But it's kind of sad that we no longer have access to large portions of the forest like we used to. Well, anyways, it looks like my bike actually held up pretty well on these trails up here. You can see there is a little bit of play in the bike rack, and you definitely notice that when you start going over really rough roads. I had to take it a lot slower than I would if I didn't have the bike rack on the back of my car, but that's totally fine. I'll go through and check and make sure all my tie downs are very secure again before I leave. I don't want any more dents in my car, so that's what's going on there. I have one more product review video that I'm going to film up here because it's a nice quiet area and it's a good location to test out this particular product. Then I guess I'll just be heading back.